Hey guys, my name is Erica Marie and I'm known as the Chakra Analyzer. So today is Sunday, February 17th, 2019, and I decided to create this video, number one, because I'm up here in Wisconsin and anybody knows anything about Wisconsin right now, we're getting hit with yet another snowstorm. I feel like we've had a snowstorm seriously every other day, okay? All I know is I'm snowed in and I'm not going anywhere because I'm not going out to shovel right now. I'll be regretting that in the morning, though, I'm sure. So, number two, the reason why I am actually creating this video is because many of you have contacted me via Facebook, Messenger, text, asking me, what is a light worker? What is a chakra analyzer? What is it that you do? I want to come see you. I want to contact you, but I'm a little unclear on what you do or what your services are. So I wanted to create this video to explain this. Okay, so going back to what is a light worker. So how I can explain this is there are many light workers. You may not know you're a light worker. There's going to be many more waking up during this time. There's different waves of energy that will awaken groups, certain groups of light workers, all at the time that they're supposed to wake up. For example, I was called in 2012. That is when I began to wake up. So, that's 7 years ago. So those that have woken up back in 2012 and have been on their journey, they're going to be able to resonate with me. And we are being guided now to shine our light. We're light workers. Shine our light and be, I guess, like a lighthouse for those who are, waking up now. We are here to help other light workers ascend and do their light work. Okay, so kind of like guides or mentors or teachers, I guess, in a way. But the overall arching theme of what a light worker is here to do is we are here to bring heaven to earth, heaven back to earth. Okay. When I say that, people are kind of confused because they're like, no, those two things are separate. Heaven's up there and earth is down here. But the reason why people, say that or think that or can't fathom, heaven being on earth is because they've never lived or experienced that. Now, I'm an old soul. I have a high school contract agreement to be here. And I lived during the time, my soul lived during the time of what you can reference back to what people call Lemuria, or I know the Bible reference like the Garden of Eden, whatever you reference or relate to or resonate with, what heaven on earth is how you see it or view it. Take what resonates with you. I try to use examples here from the 3D in order to help those awaken by using terminology that has been going around, the 3D. That's the only way I can really explain it for those to understand. You can't speak butterfly language to caterpillars. So those that are not woke yet aren't going to understand a different language, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And that's just the way it is. So when I reference things here, it's not because I necessarily believe those things. It's just easier for me to explain to people. So light workers are here to bring heaven to earth. And what does that look like? Okay, how does that happen? So I chose to be born here into the third dimension of the 3D. It's the physical world. You can call it Earth. I don't know if Earth is round or flat. I don't know if it's what it is, but it's the third dimension. So that's what I'm going to explain Earth as. I call it the 3D. Okay. So I chose to be born during this time because we have entered into the age of light. And as light workers, we're born here to be conduits. We are here to anchor in light energy. And light energy comes, it's light and love energy. It comes from 5D. So that's the fifth dimension. So God is in the fifth dimension, or that's where love and light is. That's where Jesus is. That's where, you know, the angels, the angelic realm is from the 5D. That's where light and love is. Okay. So when you hear, and like I said, I don't believe all science either. Okay. So how I explain this is you hear some scientists say, we live in multiple dimensions at once. Well, this is true because this is my 3D body. This is my physical body. And I'm living in the third dimension, but I'm also living in the fourth dimension because that's where my energy field is. That's my etheric field. Many people who are more woke can see people's auras, see the energy, see the 4D. There's machines that allow us now to go step in front of a machine and have our picture taken or have a video of what our aura looks like, the color of our aura. And that those are machines that can tap in and see the fourth dimension. So you'd be living in your 3D and your 4D. We're doing that now. And then when you're perfectly aligned within, your 4D and 3D body, you can be perfectly aligned and live and function from the fifth dimension. And that's where light and love is. Okay, that's where your higher self is and where your soul comes from. So yes, you can be living in multiple dimensions at once, and you do it. So let me explain. So if I am fully aligned as a light worker, I can receive all the downloads of light and love coming from 5D. I can anchor in here to the 3D, and that helps collapse the false 3D matrix that has hijacked God's earth, and free will experiment. So God did create Earth for souls to come here and experience physical and experience things that their soul has to experience in order to grow. And God allowed souls to have free will experiment, I guess is what I'll call it. But somewhere along the lines, or somewhere along, this Earth was hijacked. And what I mean by that hijacking is it was kind of taken over due to manipulation of energy. And I guess I'll reference like back, in the Bible when, Adam and Eve, when Eve ate upon the fruit and then Adam did, and then that's when, the serpent, came in and took over, and then sin was here. Well, how I'm going to explain it is, yeah, that possibly happened. It might not happen that way, but something bad came in, you can call it the devil, came in and hijacked Earth. And what that looks like is they came in, they hijacked energy, Earth's energy, because in order for everything to function correctly, you have to. So souls were born here, and you are born. Your soul has a masculine side energy and a feminine energy, and both have to be completely in balance. Okay, that goes for everything. So it's not just the soul. Even the Earth has masculine and feminine. When you say, for example, and I'll use the reference for religion, Father, Son, the Holy Spirit. So the Father is a masculine energy. The Holy Spirit is actually the feminine energy. Also known, the Holy Spirit, throughout names, language is fluid, it changes. So another name for the Holy Spirit is Nebudonia. Nebudonia is name for like feminine energy. So you have to have the Father, and you have to have the masculine, and you have to have the feminine to create the Son, so to create life. You have to have a balance of both. So that's true. That is true. And what has happened though is there's been an imbalance of the energies. So the manipulation, the bad, the devil, whatever you want to call it, has manipulated energy and making all of humanity, all of this 3D realm, where the plants and animals and Earth, Mother, Mother Nature, whatever you want to call, is all being forced to live in this shadow side masculine energy. So if you take a look at feminine energy and masculine energy, it's split in half. So you got feminine and masculine, but you can also split it this way. Okay, so you think of fours. So there's a shadow side feminine, there's a shadow side masculine, there's a light feminine and a light masculine. So you got the light and the dark. Okay, and when energy is being manipulated and we're all being forced to live in the masculine shadow side energy, what does that look like in the 3D? It looks like narcissism. It looks like selfishness. It looks like control issues, greed, heartless crimes. Heartless, crimes are committed. Um, it's just a really, how do I put it? It's not a good energy for us to be living in. And many people, especially feminine energy, has been suppressed and demonized due to the shadow side masculine energy. And as a light worker, I'm here to harness the light, the 5D light and love energy. I'm here to anchor it into this false matrix in order to bring the feminine energy back into balance with the masculine energy. And we have to do this in order to, it's so important that we do this so we help raise the vibration of the planet for one, and raise humanity out of the false matrix to be able to see past the veil. So that's the overall arching theme as a light worker. Now, you have your own work that you have to do as a light worker. There's other categories, like some light workers are gatekeepers. Some light workers are here for just the environment and animals. Other light workers are here where they have to travel around Earth. Like I said, I don't know if it's round or flat, but different locations of Earth, because Earth actually has vortexes too, like what we call our chakra points in our bodies. Earth also has chakra points. So by us carrying certain energy and light energy with us, we have to travel around in order to change that energy. Whatever's been taking place there, we go in and we can cleanse it and heal that energy. That's why it's so important. People don't understand. If you have a calling and you're being called to go somewhere and like up and move and pack and go, don't let fear hold you back. If you're being called to go there, it's for a reason. You have to go change the energy there, or you have to change the energy within yourself. And you have to get it moving and cleansing energy, Science 101, energy can't be created or destroyed. It can only be changed or transmuted, right? So that's what we have to understand. Like I said at the beginning of this video, everything is energy. If you understand energy, you understand the key to life, okay? That's the way it goes. So let's see. We talked about overall arching theme as a light worker, okay? How did I guess you're probably all wondering, like, okay, you said that you started your journey, you started your awakening in 2012, you were called. I'm not going to get into everything that I learned in those 7 years, but I will get into how I started, understanding energy. So it was, I think, around 2014. I was a student attorney for a cold case unit that prosecuted cold cases, homicide, and rape. It was divided up in, and I was put on the rape unit. And when I was, interviewing rape victims, and around the same time, I actually had met some women that had been trafficked, human trafficking, and they were trafficked at a very young age. And they started explaining to me things that, had happened to them. And I discovered that it had to do, a lot of their issues now, they had been out of the trafficking for a long time, but they still had issues. And of course, those are going to be mental, there's going to be so many issues, mental, emotional, health and all these things. But a lot of them had went through all that counseling, and a lot of them, had changed their whole life around, but there was still always, the same thing. I found a commonality between all of these women, and it really had to do with they did not cleanse their 4D. They didn't cleanse the energy around them. They didn't realize that that was something that they had to do. Therefore, they were carrying that negative energy within their aura. And it's about law of attraction. What you put out is what comes back to you. So that's why they could never fully heal. It's almost like you have to get to the root of it, and the root of it always comes from the 4D. And if it sits in the 4D long enough, it will absorb into your 3D and physical body. So that's why a lot of these women were having, hysterectomies in their 20s, or, they were having, uterine cancer, or anything you can think of, where, the rapes that had taken place. It was that negative energy, the emotional energy was sitting there in their etheric field. But moving on from that, also, I started understanding, and it kind of started coming down from me looking at case law. So, you know, Terry, and Terry versus, United States, the stop and frisk, right? So, um, under the Terry, frisk, a police officer can come up and search you or do a frisk on you if they have reasonable suspicion that you created, a crime or whatever. And that is, coming into your persons, that is almost like, you feel like you're being violated, like, why are you touching me? Um, so I started looking and thinking about, that's a person's 3D body, right? But what about your 4D? What about your energy field? I realized that I can tap into somebody's energy field anytime that I want. Okay. I can read your energy. And I started thinking about that. I'm like, wouldn't that be a violation? I don't have the person's permission. I can just tap into it. Do I need a person's permission to tap into their energy? And then I started looking at case law, like, for example, Kylo versus United States in 2001, when Kylo was growing a controlled substance out of his home, and the police used a thermal imaging device. So remember when I was talking back about you can have your picture taken, your aura can be taken picture. There's technology out there that allows you to go a little bit deeper than and see past the naked eye or whatever. Like, there's technology that shows energy. So in Kylo versus United States, it was found unconstitutional for police to be able to use an imaging device, a heat imaging device, to see and scan his home. So it is illegal to use those. You have to have a warrant in order to use an imaging device for that. And I thought for a minute, wow, I mean, you have to have that for the physical, for the 3D. But I, again, can tap into anybody's energy and read them. And then there's people that can walk around and they can just look at you and they can see your energy and your aura. And then I went further, and I was kind of researching, like, over in the UK, they're using, for example, in some police departments, where they bring in a suspect and they want to, interview the suspect, or, interrogate him, or whatever that they do there, the words that they use. And they were using an energy device to look at the person's aura. And it made kind of like sense to me, because I can tell if a person's lying if I see their throat chakra, like the energy around their throat chakra, in their fifth chakra, you know, go off. I know that they're lying. Okay. And you can see the energy in them change when things aren't right. You can see that in somebody's energy field. So I started thinking, wow, that makes sense to use those kind of machines, if they're using them over in the UK. What would that look like if the United States started to do that, over here? would that be a violation of, the Fourth Amendment for that search and seizure? You'd have to have the person's consent, or you'd have to have a warrant, right, in order to get past that violation, the Fourth Amendment. So that is really where I started really looking at energy. And another thing that I want to reference is because the Earth's been hijacked and the energy's been hijacked, know know that your energy can be hijacked. You can be manipulated. And it's easier to manipulate your energy field when you are putting low vibrational foods, drinks, controlled substances such as alcohol, drugs, and sex or lust into your body. That is when you are vulnerable. That is when your aura is at its weakest. And that's when lower entities, ego driven humans, you know, bad, you can call it devil, demons, or bad entities can come in and possess you through your solar plexus. Because remember, I told you the veil sits right here. So that's where the possessions are taking place. And you don't even realize that you are being hijacked. Like your body, your energy is being taken over and being manipulated. So it causes people, especially when you're under, the influence of alcohol. That's why they call it alcohol spirits. I mean, it's not because of the way that they create the alcohol or the fermenting or whatever. I don't even know how to do that, but that is not why it's called spirits. It's because when you put alcohol in your body, you feel, Aristotle said it, you feel like you're being possessed or spirits are taking over your body. And that is true. That is when you are vulnerable. That is when your aura is weak. And you have to have your aura be strong. That is your that's your like spiritual shield. You have to have your 3D, 4D fully connected with the 5D. That is when you are the strongest. And that's when you can't come in and be manipulated. When you stand in your spiritual confidence and truth, that is a force field. It's a shield around you, protecting you from the bad manipulation, the manipulation of from the devil or the bad or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. But that is how they manipulate you and control your energy. So I just know, and that's what I like to tell people is you have to look not only at the third dimension, you have to take a look at what's going on in the fourth dimension. There is a spiritual war going on. I mean, I don't even know if that's the words I want to use, but there's more going on around us than we can see. And we are purposely being suppressed and our energy drained from us so we can't see it. Okay. And when I say our energy is being drained, I want to reference back to like my life before I went off in 2012 to do my soul mission or to start my soul mission. So I lived a comfortable life. My life, when I look back, was comfortable. It was good. Everything, my needs were met. I had a loving, home and family, and I didn't want to leave, but I knew that I had to go on this mission. And I had faith that it was all going to work out the way that it was supposed to. And I just remember I could not let fear hold me back. I could not live in both F's. You can't live in fear and faith at the same time. You have to live in one or the other. And when you look at fear and you look at faith, you can't see fear and you can't see faith. So those are those kind of like those 4D, you know. And we call it fear and faith here in the 3D. That's how we describe it and explain it. But those are those two energies. You can't live in fear energy. You can't in faith energy at the same time. And fear really is an illusion. It's manipulation. It's part of that. So that manipulation I call the false matrix, the false 3D time matrix. That's keeping all of us trapped, and we can't see past the veil. We can't see past that energy manipulation. So I lived a good life, and I didn't necessarily want to leave, but I was being called, and I had to follow my soul mission. I had to follow God and just trust in the journey. And before I left, I had to really take a step back and reevaluate my life. And in the 3D, especially the false 3D, it wasn't a bad life. But everything that I did drained my energy, and it drained me so that I didn't have enough energy to do my soul mission work and to do what I was meant to do here. So it's kind of like what that looks like here in the 3D is I had a good life, but it wasn't what I was supposed to be doing anymore because, waking up at 6 a.m., getting all of your children ready, heading out the doors, dropping everybody off at school and daycare, heading to a full-time job where, you work with the public, and the court system. It drains you. It drains your energy. You take on other people's issues and problems, and you get done with work. You had to work through your lunch. You had to work through your breaks. Um, just to go and pick up all your kids, and then go to all their after school activities and do sports and still try to have a normal, life for your kids, and then still try to cook a healthy dinner, or feed your kids a healthy dinner. And then after that, do homework and go through backpacks and, you know, still have to run to the grocery store and still have to do all, the laundry. Um, all these heavy burdens. And yeah, I created that life for myself. I take accountability. Those were my actions. I created my life for me. But it was, now I see it's all about keeping us suppressed and keeping us so drained and so tired that we don't even have energy for ourselves. And if we do have a few minutes, it's about going in to the bathroom, having a bathroom break, or what some people might even call a cigarette break or something. Like, we just get a few breaks, but that's not enough. That's not enough time. So you really have to take a step back and reevaluate your life. It doesn't mean you don't love your kids. It doesn't mean that you didn't like, your job or, helping people. But you really have to take a look about how this matrix is really designed. And you have to start looking past this matrix and seeing what's really going on. And when you do that and you put all your faith in God, everything works out. You don't fear finances. You don't fear losing things. You don't fear, losing possessions. You don't think about those things anymore. What's keeping you stuck? I got to continue to work this job in order to pay my mortgage and pay my, car payment for my Lexus or BMW. There's all these things that keep us suppressed, and it usually comes down to financial. That is the masculine side, shadow energy is all about that. It ties money into self-worth, and that's, your self-worth and self-confidence sits in your third chakra. That's where they keep you suppressed. And they try to tie that finances into, that's your self-worth of, how much money you make. And, obviously that's a false programming. That's not true. So when you're doing your soul mission work, and you're doing it's God's work, it's God's will, everything falls into place. You don't have to worry about, whether your bills are going to be paid or not. They will be. You will be protected. So as a light worker, I'm here to anchor in that light energy to help the rest of you be able to ascend out of this false matrix and really be a guide and a lighthouse for you. I'm here to help you during your ascension process. Many people, there's different phases to the ascension. Some people, I guess here in the 3D we label things. So a lot of people are going to have to go through like the dark night of the soul. Some people are just going to be able to ascend and be healed instantly. Some people are going to have to go through some ascension symptoms, but those are not good. Sometimes you'll feel like you have to go to the doctor to feel like there's something wrong with you, but it's just the symptoms, and then they go away. I don't know if everybody's going to go through this. There's different waves. Like I said, people are called at different times, and some waves of light workers go through and experience, certain things, and maybe the other set of light workers aren't going to experience those things. But we are here as kind of like the light keepers, lighthouse, to help others ascend, and be a guide. So that's kind of like what I do as my overall arching theme. And then more specific is I am what I would call a gatekeeper almost. So I help people ascend out of the matrix. I help people get their chakras aligned. So that's number two. So what is a chakra analyzer? Well, I named myself that, okay, because that's who I am and that's what I'm meant to do here. So I am here to ow, my back is itching, sorry. I am here to um I guess analyze your chakras to see where you're at, if they're open, closed. I don't want to say closed, blocked. So open, blocked. If they're going through a spiritual awakening, I may not be able to know what some of your chakras are doing, but I'm here to help guide you. So I hold the key, like I'm a gatekeeper. So I hold the key to ascension to help you ascend, um, out of this false matrix. And in order to get out of the false matrix, you have to follow Jesus out of the matrix. So I try to explain this to people that Jesus is the door, and you have to go through the door. You have to go through Jesus in order to get to God, the divine, to the 5D. Okay, so it's really all about energy. I don't want to say it's all spirituality. I don't want to say it's all science. I feel that's another separation meant to separate us. That's the shadow side masculine energy is about competition. It's about separation. It purposely suppresses us. I mean, come on, look around you. When you look past the veil, you can see how this matrix is designed. I mean, think about politics, the Republicans and then the Democrats. Like everything is separated and put in competition on purpose. It's to keep us separated so we can't see. It's to keep us blind and I don't want to say dumb, but keep us suppressed so we can't see the big picture really going on. They want us to fight amongst ourselves and you know I laugh because I see the Facebook posts and it's like you're not even focusing on the what you really need to focus on, and that drains our energy. It's being drained on purpose and it's being manipulated. So the free will, God's free will experiment here for us souls to have free will here. The free will is being manipulated. How can you have free will if the energies are being manipulated? They have to be in balance and they're not, but we're trying to get it back to being in balance and we're trying to get heaven back here on earth. So if you are a light worker or you feel you are a light workers are God's soldiers. We are here to do God's work and we are here to bring the light. The light comes down through us. We are the anchor, we are the conduits here. So please reach out to me if you um, are beginning your awakening or you have already woke, especially those back in 2012. I love to connect with, light workers that were in the same wave as me to see what, you know, their more focused work is. And then we kind of compare. We're all little pieces to the bigger puzzle. So I like to know where I fit in. And it's always nice to hear other stories. Those that are waking up right now, like I said, please reach out to me. I am here as a guide, and it doesn't matter how far away you are. If you live across the other side of the world, or if you are in the United States, you just live down south, or you live out west. We're all like put into different locations for a reason. It's where our energy is needed. Wisconsin, I live on the border of Wisconsin and Illinois. This has been my hometown. But I did have to leave for a while and I lived down south, okay? And I came back here, but during that time when I got called to my awakening in 2012 and I moved down south, it was because I needed to go there. That's where my energy was being called and that's where I needed to be at that time, but now I have to come back here. My energy is needed here now. So it's not a surprise if you have to travel out of your area and go. It can be living in a different place, or it can just be even vacation. If you're being called to go somewhere, go because you're supposed to go there. Okay, I want people to know that. And it's the matrix that keeps you suppressed, or I'm not going to have enough money, or I don't have enough days, vacation days, or I can't take off work, blah, blah, blah. Do you see how it constantly is keeping you suppressed? So if you have to reevaluate your life and make changes, those are just excuses. I can't, I can't, I can't. I have to work. I have to pay my bills. I can't, I can't. Those are excuses. Like I said, it's part of the false 3D matrix. Take a step back, you reevaluate your life, you make the changes necessary, you follow God, and you have faith. All your bills will be taken care of. All your family members would be taken care of. Everything will be taken care of if you just take a step back, reevaluate, and see past the veil. It will all work out for you. Okay. So I've been rambling on for the last 35 minutes. I did not want to go that long, but like I said, I have a lot of information. I do have more information I want to share, but I think I'm going to stop here and I will create another video and talk about other topics that still need to be talked about and discussed. Okay, so again, my name is Erica Marie. I am the Chakra Analyzer, and I am part of the Lightworkers that were called into mission around 2012. Please feel free to contact me. My email is chakraanalyzer@gmail.com. And I spell analyzer with a Z, not an S. I live in the United States. So we use Z's, not S's, okay? So I also have a Facebook page. It is Erica Marie on Facebook, and I have a business page called Chakra Analyzer. You can contact me on my personal or through my business page. And then also, let's see, I have an Instagram account and you can message me there. It's called Chakra Analyzer. So please feel free to reach out, schedule an appointment with me. I specialize in chakra analysis. That is where I read your energy, let you know what energy needs to be worked on and opened. And I also specialize in soul mission readings. Okay, so I tell you kind of what your overall arching theme is for your soul mission at this time, where you've been on your soul mission in the past and present, and then where you are headed on your soul mission. I want to make it clear that I am not someone that predicts the future. I do not read fortune telling. I do not read and tell somebody what their future is. Only God knows your future. Only you and God. You have that contract with God. That is your soul contract with God. I will not tell you what's necessarily going to happen into the future. I can only read into your energy, and sometimes there's the 4D, there's not really a timeline. So here in the 3D, we put a label on past, present, and future, but time doesn't really exist. So if you're looking at it from a higher perspective, sometimes I can tap into your energy. It doesn't necessarily mean it's future energy. It means it's energy that's going on right now, but it just hasn't happened here in the 3D yet. So that's why I can tap into that. That is not fortune telling. That is not predicting your future. That is just tapping into the energy to let you know what's going on in your energy field right now. And please know that you do have free will, even though it is being manipulated. But when you see past the veil and you understand that, you will understand, your choices and the free will. And I always say that God is who you need to talk to. I know that sometimes we reach out externally, and it's okay to reach out externally and talk to those that have been there before. But I want you to know that I am not here to create a codependency relationship or action with somebody. And what I mean by this is, do not constantly contact me to answer your questions. You do at some point have to go within yourself, because you already have the knowledge, you already hold the keys to what you need to know. I am just a guide. I will not solve your problems or your issues for you. That's one thing. I do have the gift of energy healing, where I can heal energy and make people better. But I focus more of that work on those that can't help themselves, like children, or animals, like the vulnerable populations. Okay. If I know that you're capable of healing yourself, then you're going to do your own work. Um, that's why I, don't offer the services of energy healing. I don't put that out or charge that because you have to do your own energy work. I just guide you in how to do that. Okay, so that's where my knowledge comes from. So when you come to see me and you want me to read your, chakras, I'll do that for you, and I'll let you know what needs to be worked on, and you do that for yourself. I've had people reach out where they want me to heal their energy for them, and I won't do it if I know that you're capable of doing it yourself. We are all here on our own journey, our own path. We are here to have a relationship with God, and you have to know that you have to heal yourself and you have to ascend to get to where you need to be with God. Okay. So that's just something I wanted to say and point out. So, like I said, I've been rambling on long enough. It's getting late. Thank you for tuning in. If this message resonated with you, please like and subscribe to my channel. If it didn't resonate with you, then you can click off, and it didn't resonate with you. It's okay. It might resonate with you later down the line. So yes, if this resonates with you, please feel free to contact me at my information below. Okay, guys, see you later. Bye.